But me, I try to turn negatives into positives. So I always say now, the positive, the blessing in me being kidnapped at 5 is
Jesus.
He brought me back. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of kids that don't
Jesus,
return.
for real.
I
My
mean,
God.
So that's the blessing in it. And so everything that I've dealt with in my, with therapy too.
Right.
But I just try to turn it into a positive.
Blueprint. This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it because time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Respect My Blueprint podcast, where we highlight the blueprint of successful entrepreneurs across all industries. And today's guest, we have another person that falls right in that category, okay? Today's special guest, it's actually going to be very interesting because we're going to talk about the topic of group homes. Group homes, which I'm a fish out of water right now, guys. I really don't know what a group home is, so we're going to get educated today. We're going to learn something today, all right, guys? But not only are we going to learn the concept of what is a group home and what surrounds it and everything like that and the blueprint of building in the industry, but we are actually going to hear from the group home queen herself, someone who not only has gotten in the industry, but crushed it as well, too. Crushed it tremendously. So I want to welcome none other than wife, mother, grandmother, entrepreneur, leader, okay? And also, 24 hours from now, we're going to say birthday woman as well, too. I want to welcome the group home queen, Myrrie Hayes. How are you doing today? I'm glad to have you here. How we feeling?
I feel awesome.
Awesome.
Yes.
Glad to hear that. We're vibrant pre-birthday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm running off of excitement and adrenaline.
Okay, now you're in South Florida, Miami. Don't let me catch you in the news tomorrow.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay.
Ain't gonna be any of that.
Ain't gonna be none of that?
None of that.
Okay, those are long days right there.
Yes, that's them old days. Them Freaknik days.
Oh, we now the documentary came. Oh, you know what? We might not have to rewind the clip and see her in there. Okay, we might have to, but we gonna keep the show rolling. Okay. Okay. Well, Myrrie, I wanted to ask you a question because the audience got to get educated today, and I'm hoping you educate us. Okay. Now, if you could share with us, what is a group home?
All right, so a group home is actually just a residential dwelling space where people that are not related dwell together and live together.
Okay.
So a group home could be all kinds of things. They're called assisted livings.
Oh, assisted living facilities.
Right.
Okay.
They're called behavioral health. They're called residential care facilities. So they're named different things. But because I'm the group home queen, I just group home.
Just group home. Okay. Just bundle it in one name pretty much,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now, normally with group homes, I'm assuming it could be for troubled or mental health or so it could be any type of
sober living.
Oh, okay.
So anything like that is basically a group home.
Okay. And there's a particular now this also spreads across the board as far as men, women, young, old, there's no discrimination as far as that is concerned.
It could be from children. There's children right now that I know that are like 4 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So
Group homes.
wow. So for a child to enter a group home, it would be basically being brought up in a troubled home or parents or something abandoning them.
A foster group home where they go into foster care, but it's actually like a group home. It could be like me. I had a behavioral health home for children.
Okay.
And so I did teens from like 12 to 17.
Oh, okay. 12 to 7. That was more of your focal point, right?
Yeah.
Well, you should. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I don't want
to. I seen it in your face. She's like,
That was not my strong point.
No?
No. Kids are not my strong point.
A lot of patience.
Oh, wow. It was a lot to deal with. I'm not going to deter anybody who has that passion, but that was not my passion.
You wasn't feeling it?
No.
Okay. Well, which, by the way, before we get into, how'd you get into it, you're the co-founder of Best Care, which if you could explain what is Best Care, by the way.
So Best Care right now is a whole empire. We have multiple business under the Best Care umbrella.
Beautiful.
So it started out as Best Care Behavioral Homes.
Okay.
We had our group homes.
Right.
But now it has grew to Best Care Consulting because we assist other people with creating group homes.
Oh, okay. So you got out of the group home itself and more educating and helping.
We still have it. And that's why I tell people I'm an owner-operator. So I still have my business. I still, do oversight in my business. But now we help other people create that generational wealth by having group homes. And then we have Best Care Staffing. We have Best Care. Yeah, we got multiple.
Oh, okay.
So
got a lot going on here, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Which the beautiful thing about it, we're going to ask you, of course, how did you get in the industry, but you was able to take this concept, this passion and drive and build it into a multi-million-dollar empire.
Yes.
Which that, aside from being inspiring itself, that right there, is truly exhilarating in the aspect of if somebody who probably would look at this in the surface and be like, that's group homes. But you've taken it and built a business model and crushed it, right? So I wanted to ask you, how did you even plan, building this whole empire as far as group homes are concerned?
I would say it didn't start as a plan. It started as kind of giving back. My sister was mentally ill. So my oldest sister, she was bipolar schizophrenic. Okay. And so that is ultimately why I opened the behavioral.
That was the driving force there, right?
Right. Okay. Because she passed away. And so I wanted to, care for people that were in the same situation. Because a lot of times when you're dealing with mental illness.
Right.
Your family will shun you, you know what I mean? You get pushed away.
People don't know how to deal with it.
Right. People don't want to deal with it. Because like my sister, she would just slap you, in any given moment. A lot of people don't want to forgive that or deal with it.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I wanted to kind of we used to call ourselves the haven of peace. Wanted to bring people in and show them love and give them a haven of peace.
Okay.
So that's how it started. But then it was like, okay, this is good. We got one.
Right.
Let's do it again. And so ultimately the plan was to just duplicate and conquer in a sense.
Really?
Yeah. And so
let's take this back a little bit, As a young girl growing up, was everything not peaches and roses as far as, because you did mention your sister, she had the condition, right? So was it just your sister condition, or was it also just being bad at school, things of that nature, hanging out with the wrong crowd? How was Myrrie growing up?
Man,
yes.
I want to know.
Oh, yeah, you did talk about Freaknik now, so come on.
I had a very troubled childhood, very troubled childhood. So, I was kidnapped when I was 5.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I was kidnapped by a stranger walking home from school, and I was sexually assaulted. So, just from that point on, being 5, that puts a lot on a
traumatic,
child.
trauma right there.
I had to go through the whole court case,
relive it again.
Yeah, so it was just a year of terror, really.
Jesus.
And so, and telling it over and over again. And then as a teenager, I feel like as a result of that, I kind of had a target on my head. I put a target on my own head.
Wow, just by sharing that experience or being forced to.
Well, not really sharing it, but my self-esteem was so low.
Right.
So I would put myself in situations. So I've been through like date rape, things like that, and just multiple experiences.
Right.
So I went through a lot of trauma and and things in my childhood. And I feel like too, because people are like, you have the patience of Job. I feel like I have that patience because of everything I went through. I know it took me a long time to turn my life around.
Right.
I was bad.
I
was bad. So, but because I went through all that,
right.
It's like now it gives me the patience to deal with people that are dealing
And
with
the understanding as well, too.
And like I always say, everybody's dealing with something. You know, everybody's dealing with something.
No
It
matter
may
what,
not be as traumatic as what I dealt with, you know, but me, I try to turn negatives into positives. So I always say now, you know, the positive, the blessing in me being kidnapped at 5 is he brought me back. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of kids that don't return.
For real.
I
oh
mean,
my God.
So that's the blessing in it. And so everything that I've dealt with in my, you know, with therapy too.
Right.
But I just try to turn it into a positive. And that's what I do now. Because, you know.
Which I want to ask you because you hear, you know, which I want to get your input on this. You know, a lot of kids that suffer from mental health or, you know, quote unquote acting out, you know, they say sometimes it's because of a traumatic experience. You know, is that usually the case from what you've dealt with in group homes?
Yes, a lot of trauma in the household, whether it be something they're seeing their parents go through or just something that they went through
themselves, right?
Even the adults that I take care of, because
really?
I no longer do kids. I
right.
Did it for 10 months. I couldn't do it.
It's like
But even with the adults, just seeing, you know, or hearing about situations that they dealt with,
right.
A lot of it's childhood.
That's wow. You know, I mean, so, you know, so obviously growing up, you had that very, very unfortunate traumatic experience, right? So now as you're growing up into early adulthood, I'm assuming, you know, you go through school and all of that good stuff. Did you go to college? Touch college?
I went to college.
Went to college?
I dropped out.
Like many of them.
I dropped out in the 11th grade.
We should right here. That's there we go. Okay.
I got my GED.
Okay.
And I did go to college, and I got my master's. I went all the way through. And
wow. Okay. So when was it now, you mentioned your sister went through what she went through. She passed away, God bless her soul, right? And then up to that point, what was your career? What were you doing? Like
before the group home, I was actually in banking. So yeah. So
completely different industry. Right?
Totally different.
Okay.
So
okay.
I was working for Wells Fargo.
Okay, so, you know, just regular job, right? Doing your thing. Okay, so then, you know, so obviously you're a banker, so the entrepreneurial spirit hasn't bit you yet because you're in corporate America, sort of, in a way.
I've always had the little entrepreneur spirit.
Yeah.
Because I did things like sell pencils in school. Candy.
Oh, side hustles.
I would flip candy.
Okay.
You know, stuff like that.
Okay.
I did like telegrams. So
okay.
Instead of having passing notes, I would say, buy my little telegram. And I made these little things with feet with the note underneath it, and I would take it and deliver it to the classroom.
Okay.
So I've always had a
little something going on, right? Okay, then. So now you've gotten to the point where you said, okay, I'm going to get into the group home business. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the strategy in planning this, what was your mindset outside of your sister's traumatic experience? What was the mindset when you first decided that I'm going to do this? I'm going to go ahead and try this.
I think the mindset was I'm like a natural caregiver.
Right.
And so the mindset was, how can I be a caregiver and make money? That's basically
right.
Make money doing it.
Okay.
And so initially it was with elderly. It was with assisted living.
Assisted living facilities,
yeah, so
okay.
Initially it was with that. I was like, okay, all these baby boomers.
Right.
You know, so we sat down. It was me and a partner. She was a nurse.
Okay.
And we sat down and kind of came up with a plan. We were going to do an assisted living. We did it.
Really?
I was not successful. And I felt like I wasn't. I mean, it was up and running. But as far as I wanted to have a business where I made money, where I did not have to work another business, another job.
Right,
This is how I generate my money.
Right, okay.
And the assisted living, it works. It's a good plan. It works.
Okay.
I'm too soft-hearted. So I'm telling you. So
too much of a big heart, huh?
People would come to me and say, all I have is this amount to pay. And
you'd be like, come
I'll
on.
be like, come on. And I would take care of them because I'm a caregiver,
Right.
you know. But it wasn't paying the bills, paying my partner, paying me.
Right. So the business was impacted ultimately, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when my sister came to my assisted living, called me one day and said, I'm coming to Arizona, you're going to take care of me. In her manic, you know, I was like, okay. And she came, you know, and I took care of her the last 3 months of her life. Yeah, so.
Is this your only sister, by the way?
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah.
I'm the youngest of 14, so no.
14? Oh, mama don't play now. Go ahead. All right.
So, yeah, so after she passed,
right.
then I was like, okay, what can I do to take care of people and kind of honor my sister?
Right.
And that's when we leaned to behavioral health. So, yeah, so I did.
Okay.
I did multiple things.
It was rough in the beginning, safe to say.
Yeah.
But, you know, naturally that is what entrepreneurship is, you know, and this was new territory anyway. Yeah, figuring it out as you go. Yeah. Okay. So what year this was when you first opened up the first facility?
This was 2016.
16. Okay. Yeah. So about a little less than a decade ago, right? Yeah. About 7-8 years ago. All right. Yeah. And throughout these 7-8 years, it's been, I'm assuming, one hell of a journey, huh?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I used to be like, I need to pinch myself because this is crazy.
It's still surreal, I guess, huh?
But now I'm to the point where I'm like, I work for this.
Oh yeah, I put the blood, sweat, and tears in for this. That's what's up. Okay, wow. All right. So as you're figuring this out, what was some of the, aside from your sister's experience and just maybe probably the day-to-day experiences of dealing with the residents in there? What are some of the other hardships of dealing with the group home?
Ooh, with the group home,
right.
Is staying up on top of your regulations.
Oh, it's heavily regulated.
I'm licensed. Yeah, I'm not just a group home that takes in people and they pay. Like, I get reimbursed through Medicaid. So I'm licensed by the state.
So everything has to be on the up and up, right? Okay.
Yes, and when regulations change, you got to change.
You got to conform with it.
That's it. So
wow.
To me, that is the most difficult thing.
Which, now I'm not obviously in Arizona. If you could share with me, I know in South Florida we're a hotbed for, I would say unethical assisted living facilities.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you hear,
Oh, yeah.
So the industry has a real bad black eye.
Yeah.
And so what do you, first of all, how does the industry have such a bad black eye like that? Why is that the case? It's
because people don't always do what's right. To me, that's in any industry. People don't always do what's right.
But why? You would think.
Because it's money involved. And to me, this is how I think of it.
Right.
I'm dealing with people's lives.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. I want to stay within regulations. I want to do what's right. So I tell people all the time, even people that I consult with,
right.
If you trying to do some underhanded, crooked stuff,
bye.
I'm not the one. So I put it out there from the get-go because people will try you.
It will try you,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because, it's always the greed of money that usually gets the best of people, right?
And it's a lot. I mean, each house, a 5-bedroom house will bring you in about $35,000 a month.
Well, hold on. Wait, I speak English. I think you said something. Yeah, say that again.
$35,000 a month.
Oh, don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna get to how y'all can make that too. Okay, we're gonna keep going.
So when it comes to money like that being generated,
wow, yeah,
people tend to lose their mind,
do shady things, right?
Yeah.
Get out of character.
And I'm not saying everybody. Of
right.
course, there's people like me that want to stay within compliance.
Right.
But there are people out there that's just running amok.
My goodness. I mean,
trying to see how much they can get away with.
I mean, my God, they can't just be happy with 35 a month.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But it's just a lot going on.
Well, okay. Myrrie, so wait a minute, hold on. Now you just opened up a whole can of worms by saying that. I wish you didn't say that.
I'm sorry.
You started a whole can of worms. Okay, so this is me, the Blueprint Mastermind.
Uh-huh.
All right. I say, hey, what's up, Myrrie? How you doing?
you too, man.
Okay, I want to open up an assisted living facility, a group home, but I want to make $35,000 a month. What do I got to do?
You gotta go through the process. You're gonna have to do an application. You're gonna have to have policies and procedures. You're going to have to be surveyed by the state, and that's on an annual basis. Yeah, you have to have employees. You know, you're going to have things set up. It has to be structured.
So anybody who wants to get into the business, you know, it's not no overnight thing. It's a lot of hard work that goes into it, right?
It can take right now probably maybe 6 to 9 months to be totally set up. Worst case that I've had helping somebody was 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
That's just to get it going, set up.
It's because of where she was. It's because of what she wanted. She wanted a 10-bed. She wanted sprinklers. The county she was in made her put in a fire hydrant, made her put pipes out on the street. She went through the ringer, but guess what? She make $55,000 a month now.
See, that's just, hold on, man. You know what?
So
you know what? Hey, turn off the show. I'm finishing another career. You feel me? What?
I'm saying, so it's like, things worth having or worth waiting for. You know what I'm saying?
So wait a minute. Hold on. There's no shortage of group homes and assisted living facilities. They're everywhere, right?
In some cities have shortages where they absolutely need people, and levels of care too, because there's levels of care. So there's a high level of care,
right?
That's like DDD, IDD.
That's like the top.
All across the board, really, there's a shortage. Wow. Because that's like top tier care. And people in that type, you can make $15,000, $20,000 a month per person. Per person. Yeah.
We talking English here. She's just talking language. That's what, like. Wow. So wait a minute here. So
y'all don't be calling me trying to. No.
Oh, your DMs gonna be flooded after this show. I'm telling you. But Myrrie, this is very intriguing. Very, very intriguing because again, I've never not only known about the industry, but how lucrative it could be.
Oh yeah.
Right. So if somebody wanted to get into the industry, right? Aside from getting the licensure, which you just, shared that is very intensive.
Yes.
Right. Obviously they would also need to, get the home or the dwelling.
Yeah, you'll have to have the space. It can be rented or bought. It does not have to be. Oh yeah. See, I got a whole look. I'm telling you my consulting game.
You know what? Let me find. Yeah, let's. Y'all gotta pay for this game now. Y'all gotta pay for this game. I'm trying to get it out of her, y'all, but you see, she's up on game. All right. Okay, so let me ask you a question because we spoke off air that, or even now you mentioned that you started off in the group home facility, then you merged off into the consulting and then the staffing and other aspects into it. So how was you able to build your empire?
Ooh, look, how?
Yeah.
It just, to me, it came natural because we had already set up multiple group homes.
So you set a name for yourself already.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah. And so in Arizona, it was like people were coming to us saying, oh, my God, you guys have did so amazing. Can you help me? And then it was like, okay, we did Arizona. And then people start contacting us outside of Arizona. And it was like, okay, let's try. And so we read the regulations and we figured, okay, we can help you. And so it just came natural. And then also the staffing, people are like, how are you keeping your staff? Because I'm very good to my staff.
Well, is it a business where it's a high turnover rate?
Caregivers, BHTs, things like that, people will jump.
Oh.
But with my people, it's like, I think they buy into I won't say me, but like my vision.
The culture and everything.
And they're like, okay, and we find ways to make them stay. And so people are like, well, can you help me find employees? So then we start helping with staffing.
Right, okay.
And so it was like, so things just kind of.
So it just started evolving and
They made
creating
me
a
do
life.
it.
It's right. I like that. Okay, so it's like, okay, let me start off doing it by myself, but now everybody's coming to you on how to set it up. Now everybody's coming to you on how to hire, and it just built.
So now we have like a mentorship. We have, so we have multiple things that we're doing.
Fantastic.
Courses, ebooks, because people want to know. They're like, group homes make what? It's not the old style group homes anymore.
Which, by the way, hold on. You know what, Myrrie? I hope you'll take no offense to this. You're not no spring chicken now.
Right.
Okay, you're a grandma. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Big 5-0 tomorrow.
Right.
Okay. So I know you got in the game in 2016, which, social media has already kind of exploded. IG, Facebook, and all that good stuff, right? But you growing up, when you was in your prime as a young girl, social media wasn't around. It was Yellow Pages.
Right.
Exactly. Right. So how was you able to adapt it to social media now? Because you just mentioned you're doing ebooks, you're doing courses. Yeah. So you have to have an online presence. Yeah.
Mentorship.
Right. Mentorship.
Mentorship for me.
Wow.
Because in my, journey, group homes can only take you so far. So I was like, at first I got a mentor that taught me about real estate when we had 2 homes. So I ended up, Grant Cardone, I don't know what
10X, okay.
Yeah, so we 10X'd it. When we went back, we had 10.
That's what's
So I bought into his 360, you know what I'm saying? And so then I'm like, okay, now we need to go digital. So I'm always trying to, I deal with younger people a lot. Like my best friend is 28. My kids, I run in a younger crowd, and they're like, "Well, Mom, you need to do this." So I listen to them.
Okay.
Because the thing is, you'll die out if you don't.
If you're not adapting.
That's it.
Right.
So
that's true.
I'm like, who can I get to be my mentor? So I ended up hooking up with Nehemiah Davis, because he's the digital guy.
Okay.
So Nehemiah's been my mentor for the last couple of years.
Beautiful.
So I have no, you know what I mean? I have no.
Crushing it.
Right?
Yeah, that's what's up.
I have no choice.
And aside from the fact that, Black woman, multimillionaire, self-made and everything like that, but you've done something that a lot of people in our industry are afraid of doing, and that's seeking the mentorship. A lot of us are afraid to pay for that help or actually acknowledge we need that help, right? So you actually invested in yourself.
Yes.
Which end up becoming a return into your business and everything.
Yes.
So do you attribute that as a major component in building your blueprint?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. Mentorship is so important.
Especially nowadays, right?
Because you have to have someone that is further than you are, so you can see it. If you dealing with people, if I'm dealing with people from my past that's never hit $1 million, then how am I going to get to 100 million? You got to be hanging around people that either collectively are at 100 million or alone are at 100 million, because that's where I'm trying to go.
That's what you're trying to achieve to, of course. Okay. By the way, are the group homes right now only based in Phoenix, or are you outside of Arizona, the state of Arizona?
Mine are just in Phoenix.
Just in Phoenix?
Yeah, all the ones I have are, because it's a lot to be.
Regulation?
Yeah. To be trying to regulate something somewhere else, it's a lot.
So I'm assuming the regulations are different in every state, city, and everything like that, right?
And sometimes they're similar, but the more, it might be one-offs here and there.
Okay.
But, yeah.
So now, now that you've started the mentorship and the courses and everything like that, how many, what are the students, are the students you have? Is it more female oriented, young, old, or you have students all across the board?
I do.
Yeah?
I think my youngest mentee right now is about 24.
Wow.
My oldest is like, let me think, about 60, 62, something.
Man.
Like that. Yeah.
And you teach them on how to get into the group home industry.
Either get in, or there are people that have group homes that don't know how to optimize them. So I'm not just teaching them, this is how you start. I'm teaching them this is what you need to do to optimize.
If scale.
If you're in a group home and it's not growing, then let's get together so I can show you how to grow it. Because I feel like I can teach somebody that.
Well, I mean, safe to say, right? which part of your blueprint here? I got my little cheat sheet here now. Don't think I have some game on you here. It shows here that you've also gotten into real estate because you mentioned one of your mentors taught you about real estate, which it shows here you purchased the entire city block or close to it or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. Don't be shy now. Let's talk about it.
I mean, we bought a city block.
She gonna...
and look,
well, what was the idea? Because not everybody wakes up and say, "Let me buy a block."
Right. The idea was we were going to do a big facility.
Oh, this was to expand the facility.
Yeah, we were going to do a big, like a 55-bed facility. Yeah, and that was a beast.
That was a beast.
So we bought it. We did.
Okay, you took the first big step.
We did.
First major step. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I take it, things happened that we had to veer off.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Was just a little too much to bite off at that time?
It was a little bit too much to bite off. And the city that we bought it in, they acted like they were so open to the relationship.
Right.
And then after we got there, they weren't so open. Oh. And so, It's
got to roll with the punches. Yeah, roll
and
with the punches at that point.
We held it for a year.
Okay.
And then we sold it for double what we bought it for.
Hey.
So it was all good.
Hey, you know what? Hey, let's go ahead and give a round of applause on that there. You feel me? That's what I'm talking about, making lemonade out of lemons.
Right.
Now, that's what's up. Okay. So, now with that being said, because you mentioned earlier you want to be that 100 millionaire. Right, so you had aspirations, and that was the vision when you was chasing the 55 bed, right? Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, because you were slightly deterred at that point, did that alter your vision, or you still have dreams to get to that?
I would say it altered it.
It altered it. Okay.
I pulled back a little bit.
Right.
I've slowed down a little bit. I'm more concerned with. Yes, building money, things that I can leave to my kids and my grandkids, but also, too, just kind of enjoying life.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. We like to chill and vibe. Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah, so, I'm not going as hard. I've had 6-figure months and things like that in my consulting.
Right.
But I just kind of pull back a little bit,
Wow, fantastic.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. Shout out to our sponsor, Uptrend Credit, the #1 credit building platform out today. If you're looking to boost or build your credit, tap in with Uptrend Credit, as you will be able to build your credit by reporting your rent, utilities, and other monthly payments into your credit report. Uptrend Credit allows you to add trade lines with your monthly rent and utility payments and reports them on your credit in as little as 7 days. Check out Uptrend Credit and learn how you can build your credit today without taking on any debt. I wanted to know, how was you able to promote your business? But you've already hinted at that by tapping into social media.
Oh, yeah.
And tapping into other lanes such as the mentorship courses, ebooks, and the digital products, right?
Yeah.
So, that obviously played a major part in promoting your blueprint. But what I want to know is, how was you able to fund your dream and your blueprint? Because you came from the world of banking, and a lot of people are watching this right here because, we're in a recession. If people don't want to admit it right now, a lot of people don't even have $5,000-$10,000 in their bank account, right? But a lot of the audience that's watching the show right now are inspired by your story, and they say, wow, well, I probably want to do this, but, how much money would it take? So how did you actually fund your blueprint?
Oh, man.
Oh, we getting deep, y'all. I'm going to get her, y'all. Don't worry, I got her, y'all. I'm going to get it out of her.
I hate to say it, out of pocket. I did, out of pocket.
Literally, like you
literally.
bootstrapped it yourself and said, wow.
I always tell people I took a $12,500 investment and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I was working merchant services at the bank.
Yeah.
I would take my bonuses, stack them, and then it was like I just funded my dream. I just kept funding it. I did not get any loans until the pandemic.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
this is all you, just boom, wow.
Because honestly, up until probably 2 years ago, I didn't even have a business credit card. I didn't know about
how to tap into that.
Because it was so much money. It was so much money coming in.
You was like, I don't need it.
Like, yeah. I mean, which people now will be like, woman, use other people's money. But I didn't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't. So I was just working, paying everything, and the money was just coming because we provided good care.
A1 service.
So we stayed full. Our census was never under 95%. And in multiple homes, that's kind of unheard of. And I built relationships.
Which is key.
Yep.
Right.
So really, I'm sorry if y'all was waiting for something.
Yeah, I mean,
I funded it myself. I mean, me and my sister.
Yeah, of course,
sister is my partner. So me and my sister, we just funded it until we started making money, and it was so much coming in, it was able to support the business.
How long was it to the point where you started putting your money into the business and funding it till you start saying like, oh, wow, there's some, was it immediately when
No. Because we started the business in March, okay? And then we were funding it. We had to pay for this house.
All the bills and everything.
This was a house outside of our regular home.
Right.
So we had to do repairs because that was the agreement I made. We rented a house.
So you didn't even have to buy it. You rented.
We paid $10,000 down because the woman said, I'll rent it to you for $10,000 down, $2,500 a month.
Ooh.
And normally it's about 1,400 in that area.
But she raised it. Was it because
she knew we were doing, because you have to tell the landlord you're doing.
Oh, they have to agree to it. The landlord.
They have to agree to it, and they have to put it in your lease. Because I'm regulated.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. See, that's the game, y'all.
Yeah,
okay.
So we were just paying these bills. We would get together before the end of the month and be like, what you got? Well, this is how much we got to pay. And we would count it out, and we would pay the bills. And we did that from March all the way. And I'm going to tell y'all, because it was our first time setting up a behavioral health group home.
Right.
So we ended up getting our first clients in January.
So from March, yeah, the whole.
So I'm paying. Yeah, we're paying
March,
bills.
April, May, June, July.
We got our first 2 clients. We got 2 clients at once.
Okay.
In January, I got my first check because we had to wait like 3 months. Yeah, just about 3 months for reimbursement.
You had a year now.
Yeah. So I got my first check in May. After that, the next May. Whoa. And guess how much my first check was?
How much?
$1,000.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Listen. All y'all might as well turn off that because all of y'all would have gave up.
Yeah, that's
how
what
many
I'm
people?
saying.
I mean, let's be real here, Myrrie.
90%
of people would have given up.
They would have, and that's what I'm saying. It ain't for everybody. Wow. But I knew the plan. You know what I mean?
You knew.
I knew the plan that God had gave me. And so it was like, this is going to happen. And so when I got that first $1,000 check in May, we were shouting because.
Wait a minute.
No, the thing is, we knew we wouldn't have to pay out no more money.
Oh, you knew that stopped of you guys coming out of pocket at this point.
Yes, and now every Thursday I get a direct deposit. So I'm not mad, and we bought the house.
Started off renting it to eventually building the business too.
And we bought it. Yep.
Wow. What? So I'm pretty sure there was throughout that year, from the May all the way to March all the way to following May, there was a lot of moments you were discouraged. And probably, there moments you was like, you know what?
Yeah. Yeah, it was probably around August.
It's like, wait a minute.
Summer was over, school was about to start. I was like, I don't want to be dealing with this, you know. So yeah, at some point we were kind of like, is this gonna happen?
Damn.
You know?
And mind you, so you had your 9 to 5 working at the bank, and you still had to go to work at the behavioral home that you were building too?
Yeah.
Wow, 2 jobs, one losing money, and you still had to play mama at night, right, with the family and everything. Wow.
Everything. Yes.
Over a whole year.
Man.
So now, I'm assuming that the reason why that's because this was your first time, the inexperience factored into that timeline and everything.
Yeah.
So nowadays, because I don't want to discourage the viewers, right? That timeline can be cut in half or even more if, the person got the proper mentorship and everything like that, correct?
Possibly. I tell people, I can't make you no promises. I tell them from the get-go.
Yeah.
I can only do my part. If your state agency takes 6 months to come and inspect, that's 6 months we're going to have to wait. So I can't control any of that.
I see what you're saying.
So I always tell people, if you're not serious and if you're not in it, I don't want you to be my client because everybody's not my client. And
so
I'm okay
you see people that come in and just end up falling off because they can't.
I've seen someone, I actually helped them set up a group home.
Right.
Trained them the whole time. They got their first client and they called me and said, this guy is crazy. Exactly.
I mean, what you expect? I mean, in a way, that's what you should expect, right?
Shut it down.
After the first one? My goodness. Come on.
I'm not even joking. After the first client, I mean, granted, we had him before, and he was he was out there, but yes, because and that's the thing. I can give you all the training in the world. I can set you up for success. They had their license, everything, and shut it down.
Wow.
So.
It's not all peaches and cream. Yeah,
that's it. It's not for everybody. And I don't want people to just hear the money and say, oh, I want to open up a group home. You have to have something in you to want to care for people, especially if you're doing behavioral health. If you're doing mental illness, you're going to have something because sometimes these people will cuss you out. They will swing on you. They will do all kinds of stuff and then come back an hour later. I'm sorry
and everything.
That's it. You got to be prepared for that mental struggle.
Oh, my God. That's a mental roller coaster right there.
It is. And everybody ain't made for that. Yeah.
Well, God bless your soul. I'll be honest, because although the money sounds phenomenal, it does sound phenomenal.
Yeah, it's work.
But
don't think it's not work. It's work. And a lot of people approach me. I get approached a lot. I get a lot of DMs. I get a lot of people hit me up on email. My number's out there somewhere. People be calling me. I'm telling you. And they be like, well, we want to, they hear the money and they want to. And I'm like, it's not for everybody. So if you're not serious about actually taking care of people, then don't do it.
Because because I'm assuming that'll even show in the business because you'll start falling off on the regulations, the compliance and everything like that too, and end up getting in trouble sometimes, right?
Exactly.
Wow, man. So you was able to on your own. Damn. And you know what? I love that because, especially, we have a very, large male viewership, but for any of the females out there that's watching the show, I can say that segment you just dropped was truly inspiring. I hope it's inspiring for a lot of the females out there because, it shows that you don't have to go to the conventional ways of making money as a black woman.
Right.
You could actually tap in and be your own boss, build a multi-billion-dollar business and, hang with the heavyweights and everything like that, right? So, which leads me to the next major question is, because I know you touched on how you tapped into social media, but how was you able to scale? I know you had Grant, you had the mentor, and, you know, through your kids and everything, you was able to tap into social media, but first of all, I want you to acknowledge, you know, you're a different breed now. You got in this game and crushed it. You know, so the audience want to know, girl, how did you promote your blueprint? How was it? Like, you know, what was the thought process? Was it more of, okay, we're doing this now, we have to find a way to 10x, let me tap into social media and mentorship? Or was it like, okay, we have this now, let's figure it out, and then it just kind of fell in your lap? How did you actually promote it?
I think it was more or less figure it out.
Figuring it out?
Yeah, because I feel like we were doing a great job. And other people in the community were like, wow, you guys are doing a great job.
Okay.
People that work for the state, we're getting
you were getting praises from,
right.
Okay.
So it was like, well, why not share with other people on how we have been successful? And there were people that we showed, and they still wanted to, do it their way.
Right.
But it was just like, let's come up with this efficient model. And I have an executive team, so we just sat down and we came up with like SOPs, came up with, KPIs, different things to measure what we were doing.
So you actually had to, aggregate the data pretty much. Data is gold, right?
It's gold, but that's a rough process. Oh, my God. I used to be like, oh, do I really want to keep doing this?
Yeah.
And I had hired a CEO, and she is just like so task-driven. Oh. So it was just like, oh, my God, this is so much. But ultimately, after everything was done,
you've seen the benefit of it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like a well-oiled machine at that point, because there's a system in place right there, right?
Right, all these systems.
Which, it's funny because when we started our business here in Blueprint, we're actually going through the same process as well too, building out our systems and operations, right? You got to build the manuals and build how hey, if you were to hire a person tomorrow, they should be able to know what to do.
Sit down
exactly.
And say, that's what we did.
Period. So if you could share that with the audience, how important is that in any business, having a system and workflow in place?
Oh, it's really important because as you're onboarding new people, it just makes the process so much easier. Then, too, intellectual property, so it makes your business more valuable,
right?
Because we just had valuators come in and do an evaluation of my business, and I'm like, all right now,
okay,
I'm glad I did all that, So
that's what's up. Okay,
it makes your business more appealing,
right?
And it shows that you know what you're doing.
Yeah. You're not winging it.
Yeah, if you just out here, you ain't got no manuals, no policies, no nothing. You winging it.
Real talk. And it's going to show in that paycheck it's definitely going to show in the bank account. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that was part of the plan and help scaling the business then.
Yeah.
So when did you come to that point when you needed that? When it just became too much, where the business like, man, there's too much coming in.
Yeah, when we got to House 4.
House 4?
Yeah, we were like, this is a lot. We need to structure it to where every single house, when you walk into each house, everything is the same.
Everything.
We have systems. There's stuff on them. It might be a little tweaks because we have a house manager model.
For each one.
Each house has a house manager.
Okay.
And then it has caregivers or BHT that report to the house manager.
Oh, so there's a chain of command.
Right.
Okay.
So it's like we have to have it to where all these houses run basically the same. They can have one-offs here and there.
Right.
Maybe their sign is a little different or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, everything is up on the wall that needs to be on the wall. So when you walk in, it's there.
No questions.
Yeah. And then we schedule everything. Smoke breaks are scheduled. Snack breaks are scheduled.
Oh,
everything
man.
is scheduled. So it's like when we come over at noon, every house should be eating lunch. When we do, you know what I'm saying? So
I
we
see
got
what you're
systems
saying.
like
Right.
that.
Okay.
Because we want each house to run the same. So if an employee goes over here, y'all should be doing the same thing that they doing over there.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. So how long did it take to go from house 1 to house 2?
House 1 to house 2 was that was actually it was 14 months.
14 months.
Yeah. So
okay.
Not too bad.
So the first one was kind of let's figure it out. After about a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then house 3. Now that's when we got house 2, because we got an old school building that we gutted out. And
you actually bought this one?
Yeah.
The third one.
Well, the second.
The second one. I'm sorry. Okay.
And then we gutted it out, and then we redid it all.
Okay.
So house 3 was actually up before house 2 was because it took.
Wait a minute. Hold on. 3 comes after 2 here,
right,
Myrrie. Okay.
Right. But we had already filed for the DBA, and it was BCBH 2 because we do BCBH, Best Care Behavior Home.
Okay.
So it was like, oh crap. So we set this one up. This one was up and running, and this one was still
kind of getting.
You know how contractors are. That's a whole other story. So yeah.
So now, how many we are at now? Grand total
10.
10. My God.
You silly.
10 of them things. Hey, my goodness. Are we going to get any more? Are we just, that's a cap?
Capping at 10. I would rather help other people do it.
Oh, at this point now, right? Okay. Yeah. Are you still going to hold on to the 10? Is that for generational wealth building and everything? Uh-oh. I already know her, by the way. She had that smile and something.
I will help 1,000 families get their group.
That's it. Wow. Okay. So the 10 that you have though, is there's a ingredient? Is there's a capacity on the amount you're willing to take in? Are you because you mentioned, I think you said you have like about 10 beds.
Well, I do 5 beds, majority.
5? Okay.
2 of them are 8. They can be 10, but I won't do more than 8. 8 is a good number for me.
Oh, just capacity-wise, right?
Yeah. Okay. I can go up to 10 in them, but
no.
8, we've done well with 8. I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, because that's a lot.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And this type of business, it's like a 24/7.
24/7. Yes.
No days off.
No. No days off. So I'm saying it's very 10 is good.
So I'm assuming even in your early years you had to do the 3 o'clock in the mornings and work, or 6 in the morning, or something happens here, or whatever the case may be. You went through all of that crazy stuff too, huh?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I used to work 12 because we do 12-hour shifts. It's just easier than doing 8.
8, right?
More people. So we do 12. Oh, I was there 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Oh, you put it in.
And working
the other job. Yeah. My God.
So yeah.
That
I put my time in.
Yes. She put, listen, man, y'all better come correct. Y'all come to her now.
Right.
You feel me? Okay. As we wrapping it up and everything like that. So now that you've, accomplished everything that you've accomplished, how much is building generational wealth and leaving a legacy important to you at this point in your career?
Oh, it's very important.
Yeah, because you're starting, like you say, you're chilling right now. You're in chill mode,
Right.
So you're not looking to build no more. You're looking to help, but, in the aspect of, because you're a mother and a grandmother, how much of all of your doing right now is dedicated towards them?
Everything I do.
Yeah.
Even when I travel, like, honestly, everything I do is geared toward, because the thing is, me finding peace, me doing things that I want to do. And that's when my kids told me, Mom, go. We just want you to be happy. My son just called me, you know, and he's like, Mom, are you safe? You know, my youngest,
Right.
he's 17. And they're wanting me to do these things because I've worked so hard.
Right.
And they're like, we enjoy seeing you go places and do things.
Beautiful.
Don't bring us back anything else. You know, that's what one of my daughters said. Don't bring us back anything else, Mom.
Yeah, we good.
We just want you to come back safe. You know,
Beautiful,
so they say
right.
stuff like that. So they know the struggle that I've been through. So them seeing me and they're just like, we're happy, you're happy, you know.
Wow.
So look. So
Okay.
yeah, but everything I do is geared toward that.
Phenomenal.
So even with me pulling back, you know, I got streams.
All right. You know, you
I got
know
different trickles. coming
Okay,
in,
all right. Nah.
They're good.
They good, right? Okay, so now that we are, you know, before we get ready to wrap up the show and everything like that, there is a few questions that I want to ask you. So, if you were to share one important piece of your blueprint that you would like to share with today's audience, okay? Because again, you're sort of, I like to call us like almost like the middle child. We grew up in a different era, but we living in this era, right? So we know the best of both worlds in a little bit, right? So taking from everything that you've grown up with in the previous era, but crushing it in this era, what is the one piece of advice you would give, particularly the female audience out there?
Female audience.
Right.
I would say relationships.
Building relationships.
Relationships are so important, and people sleep on that. Like just being sincere and
Right.
building relationships and doing what you say you're going to do. So that's, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't follow that
that's
now.
what
Come
I'm
on.
So I will take a loss to cover somebody else because that's how I am.
Just to keep your face clean.
That's it.
Right,
That's
right.
it.
I see
and
what you're saying.
And I've done it before. So relationships, when you build a relationship with somebody, don't always be thinking about yourself. So
Right.
I'm always, I just got a text before I came here. It's like a relationship I built with a case manager. She told my team texted me and said, wow, she really appreciated the flowers. Her mom passed away. I heard it in conversation. First thing I tell my business manager, send her some flowers.
Just like that. Just boom.
Because it comes natural to me. I'm all about relationships.
Wow.
So if you take that seriously, relationships will take you so far.
More than take you places that money can't.
Yeah, because sometimes the relationships I have, a relationship I had got me on a private jet. I didn't pay nothing. You know what I'm
You
saying?
see, look at that,
so
right?
I'm saying,
Absolutely.
things like that.
Right.
It's
Who
like
you
it
know.
can take you so much further than money.
So, if you could, wow, really? Which I share that a lot. I'm glad you said that because one thing I share with my team a lot is the power of relationship capital. You know, and you further expounded on that and everything like that, which is now. When it came to building relationships, I want to, if you could just share how important it was to put a team together because you're a co-founder, you have an executive board and everything like that. How important it is to actually put a team together and not be that lone wolf.
Oh yeah, that's way
Yeah.
important. I would probably be dead.
Because you didn't start by yourself either. You was you and
I
your
was with my sister, and it was like that was one of the things. Grant Cardone, they're training,
right,
building an executive team, things like that, and pulling from people, different strengths.
right.
So my team is like awesome. Like my executive team will go work in the house.
Oh, they don't feel like they're too.
My executive team will get up in the middle of the night. My executive team, because that's how far they go for me.
Right.
And it's like, I could not have did all this by myself. Yeah.
Which I hope everybody, take that in. What Myrrie just shared, because you can make $1 million for yourself. You can't make it by yourself.
That's right.
You know. So with that being said, before we wrap up the show, I don't want to leave none of the viewers here empty-handed. I mean, we've had a lot of guests come on the show, you know, online influencers, coaches, former athletes, and things like that. And a lot of people, they share their game a little bit, but I have to say, you have given some of the most profound gems. I am serious. Listen, off air, guys, I'm going to be peppering her with questions, y'all. So y'all ain't finna get some of the gems. I'm about to go ahead and ask her right now. But I can say, you know, you have left the audience truly impressed, you know, and with a lot of value. So if there's any last piece of value or that you would like to leave the audience, anything that you're working on. I know you mentioned you're working on a work series tour. You have a tour.
Yes.
Okay, let's touch on that a little bit. I don't want to go ahead and breeze upon that. Go ahead.
Okay, so the work series is basically it's 3 of us. It's me. I do behavioral health group homes.
Right.
We have Dwayne Griffin, which
Okay.
is called Mr. Group Homes.
We got Miss Group Home and a Mr. Group Home. Okay.
So he does like sober living homes, IDD, and then we have Shronica.
Okay.
She is out of Texas, and Shronica does like assisted living. And so what we have done, we've teamed up. We work really, really well together.
Beautiful.
And so we've teamed up, and we're doing like a tour to kind of help people to get group homes started. So it's called the Work, WORC series. And you can find it on Eventbrite. We just finished in Atlanta. It was very successful.
Shouts out to the A.
My God.
Okay.
It was so good.
That's what's up.
And so we got really, really great reviews. And so in June, we will be in Cleveland, Ohio. And then in July, we will be in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
So make sure if you have thoughts of having a group home that you tap into the work series.
Absolutely. Which, of course, we're going to have all of the information in the bio and in the link description and everything like that. Now, one last question, because these questions. So you mentioned that Mr. Group Home, you do behavioral health. Mr. Group Home, you did sober right? And the other young lady does assisted. Now, is there's when you have a group home, do you have to separate them, or could you put?
No.
You know where I'm going already.
Yeah, you cannot combine. You know, you can't combine old with young. You can't combine different types of homes together.
Oh, so you have to pick a lane and.
That's it. Yep.
Well, let me ask you, out of all the lanes, you have a little bias because you're going to say behavior, right? But if you, in an unbiased way, right, what is for the audience out there, what's the easiest lane to tap into initially?
The easiest
or the
would
best
probably be the easiest, but not more lucrative, would be like sober living. That's a little easier to get into.
So that's people experiencing alcohol or drug addiction, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But like I'm a mid tier, so I like that. And he does IDD too. Dwayne does,
right?
Which is the highest level of care. I don't want to do that. No. I picked my lane.
Okay, we're going to stick with it, right? Well, Myrrie, this has been a fantastic conversation. Yes. Oh, my God. I hope you not only crush it in the tour, but, you know, you keep uplifting, inspiring, motivating others, you know, because, you know, you could have easily been selfish.
Yeah. Nobody
taught you the game. You've learned the game, and you could have kept in your intellectual property and just be happy with building your empire. But you know, scaling the business into actually educating others and showing others on how to do so and replicate your success, you know, says a lot about your spirit. You know, you really do have that caregiving heart, you know, and by the blessings of God, we're going to see you hit that 100 million mark in no time, girl.
Okay.
Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn on how you can touch that $100 million mark with Myrrie, okay, first you got to come to me. All right, give me a cut, but nah, I'm playing. Okay, but if you want to learn on how to tap in with Myrrie, you can definitely tap in with her at the phone number that we're going to leave on the show notes, as well as going to be on the screen here. Definitely tap in with her if you want to tap in with her mentorship, if you want to tap in with any of the digital products she has, or if you just want to go ahead and get some consultation on how you would like to go ahead and get your own group home facility set up as well too. Please tap in with her. And, also, Myrrie, if you can let everybody know, where can they follow you?
You can follow me at the Myrrie Hayes. That's on Instagram and Facebook. So you can follow me on those two.
Absolutely. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, today has been a great conversation. You never know when she hits that 100 million mark. Can we bring it back again?
Of course.
Okay. You see that? Okay. Listen, be ready for part 2. Okay, but of course, if you guys want to check out all previous episodes, you can check us out on all streaming platforms, Apple, iTunes, as well as what's the other, Spotify, and all that other good stuff. Listen, we was able to learn the blueprint on how Myrrie was able to start off being as just a regular 9-to-5 banker, being an everyday mom, right, and now building a multi-million-dollar group home empire, and now she's educating others. If you want to be able to learn on how to build your blueprint, the keys to build your blueprint, plan, build, fund, and promote your blueprint, definitely tap in with one of our sales team, and we could help you get to the next level as well. And as always, as the engineers in there, my beautiful guest here, as well as everybody out there in the world, smiles are free. Have a blessed day. See you the next time, guys. See you on the flip side. Bye-bye. Media, where great content meets great production.